Alrighty, folks, and that's lights out and away we go. Giraffe gets away well. And now we're back with Giraffe in the lead, ahead of Junkie, then ahead of Stormy. Chief Grey J gets around Nebula. Nebula falls back 2 places, and Obi-Wan Jablomi falls back as well. Max Verstappen 433 disqualified from the session for being stopped on the track. That's going to be the end of his race. Looks like he was not back in time after the formation lap. And that will be double yellows in Sector 3, and that is going to be a virtual safety. We will know momentarily whenever the virtual safety car is over. However, it looks like it has just ended. However, we did see a penalty for one of the drivers. It was CCS Racer 15 in the Aston Martin picked up a penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. One of the Mercedes currently in the pits looks to be Ricciardo. But a couple of other drivers in the pits as well. Rat Admiral TV and with Alpine and Diablo in the Cadillac. King Dan in the Williams as well. As Ricciardo starts to pull out of the pit lane. Giraffe P1, Junkie P2, Stormy P3, Nebula P4, Chief Grey J P4, Nebula P5. Obi-Wan Jablomi crawls back up into 7th, having fallen down there right prior to the virtual safety car. Giraffe storming away with it, trying to keep Junkie as far behind as he can, as next lap Junkie will be able to use overtake mode whenever he is within 1 second of Giraffe. Between Junkie and Stormy, Chief Grey J is trying to take a podium off of Stormy here, as they all file onto the start-finish straight. But unfortunately, no one's going to have any ability to overtake yet. As it looks like Chief Grey J is going to try and go around the outside of Junkie here in Sector 3, and does make a stick. That's now Chief Grey J into P3. The Audis, P4 and 5, respectively. Back from the McLaren as well. So we will see an attempt here and a bit of contact as the McLaren backs out and is kind of forced wide as a result of the contact. Taylor Mack in the Red Bull says thank you very much and takes that position back. Kern Dog picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, potentially for track limits there, as they come around the penultimate turn and or across the final turn, sorry, and across the start-finish straight. As we currently watch Chief Grey J fall into the pits here, as Stormy follows behind and picks up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Very good stop for the Ferrari driver here, as they look to exit the pits about P10 or 11 here. And looks like he will be fighting for P10 against Rathko in the McLaren. Stormy behind in P11 now with a 10-second time penalty to make up. That's going to effectively ruin his race as Audi pulls a double stop. And that's Nebula currently in the pits. And that is the lead of the race to Racing Junkie right now, as Giraffe pulls into the pits for his first stop of the race. He is currently on medium compounds and will go out on the hards, likely for the rest of the race. We may see a double stop here at Catalunya. Tire wear is a little high, but with it being already almost halfway through the race, we're going to see as many drivers as possible try and stay on the one-stop strategy, moving from mediums to hards. Currently, King Dan and Diablo going side by side. And oh, there's Mercedes moving really slowly. There's Ricciardo pulling or falling way behind there. I wonder why he was going so slowly. I don't think it was super clipping, so we'll have to figure that one out after the race. And Obi-Wan Jablomi looks to be trying to make an overtake on that Ferrari, as now he's only about 2-3 tenths behind the Ferrari. And there he goes up the inside line and does make it stick with a little bit of wheel bang in between them, but the Ferrari gets back around and Boogie stays ahead. The Alpine is going to try again, though, so let's get a good onboard shot of that, shall we? As we enter Sector 3, one of the more frenetic, or one of the more difficult portions of the track. We're going to see Obi-Wan Jablomi try again here through Sector 3. He is going to try and take the inside line here, but we'll put him onto the outside through this turn, which will put him in a bit of a disadvantage, as well as potentially on the outside line for the penultimate turn, but did make the overtake stick and was able to actually take the inside line for that one. The Alpine of Obi-Wan Jablomi is now P4 with Boogie 0.165 behind. He's going to use overtake mode and active arrow down this straight to get alongside and take the inside line into turn 1, as in the first chicane, Boogie comes out ahead, but only marginally, as the two are still going wheel to wheel through nearly every turn. Boogie pushes him to the Obi-Wan to the outside here for turn 4. And now, as we enter the hairpin of turn 5, Boogie has fallen behind. As we come across the halfway point, or a little over the halfway point of Sector 2, and onto the back straight, it looks like Boogie is trying to close the distance, but fell just too far behind to be able to do so, putting him right ahead of his teammate, Chief Gray J, who is now only about a second behind. Looks like we have another bit of exciting racing going on here between the Audi of Nebula and potentially the Haas of Tribal, or not Tribal, sorry, Darren. Nebula and Darren go side by side across the start-finish line, as Nebula does pull ahead, and the Haas will try and go alongside, along the inside into turn 1, but backs out as he thought about maybe taking the inside line there through turn 5, but we have a virtual safety car. Alrighty, and we are racing. Giraffe leads the queue off across the start-finish line, and Junkie will be a half a second behind. You can hear the Williams bottoming out there along the straight as Rafko picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. A lot of action happening here at Catalunya for the last lap of racing, as we see multiple overtakes happening in the midfield. Obi-Wan Jablomi is now up onto the podium in P3 in the Alpine. Boogie is up into P4, and Kerndog picks up a 10-second penalty for corner cutting and gaining a place. Taylor Mack and Rafko behind also have penalties. They are also duking it out right now. And Junkie is just 0.1 second behind Giraffe. Well, 0.1 something, but it looks like we may see an overtake here at the end of the race for the win. Boogie overtakes Obi-Wan Jablomi for P3 for the remaining podium step, as a Hatred Sin picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And Junkie will be using overtake mode here on the straight to get alongside Giraffe, and will try and take the outside line in turn 1 so that he can take the inside line of turn 2. And it does look to have worked for him almost. He does not make the overtake, but does remain alongside as he tries to pull the switchback maneuver on Giraffe here for the very last lap of the race for the overtake. As they go alongside, and there's a bit of contact between them here in Sector 2. As Junkie starts to pull away in the Cadillac. This may be reviewed after the race. Giraffe now picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so even if Giraffe does get back around Junkie for the lead of the race before the end of the race, and he's going to try on the back straight here, and does get ahead, it may not matter with that penalty, now that he will try and appeal that penalty after the race with the stewards due to getting pushed off. But we are here at the end of Sector 3. We are entering the second to last turn, and that's a spin from Giraffe, and that hands Junkie the win of the race. Oh, and that's gravel for Junkie. Oh, and they're going to... Oh, that's a spin! What is going on here as they cross the start-finish straight? Rafko picks up a 20-second time penalty for an unserved drive-through. I have no idea what is happening here at Barcelona. And was that a hatred sin for the win of the race? I have no clue.